Hi all, right back with more Red Storm, Dark Blue Defection, Scenario 4, Iron Eagle. This is my part 4. Uh, so, yeah, some things to talk about, as always. A couple of notes I put in the header of part 3 when watching it back before putting it out there. I see maybe getting a bit muddled up with the Sam situation. I'm talking about trying to locate these SAMs in the SAM location phase. But Howard's just messaged me, he's just left a comment saying something that makes me think something else. But yeah, because in the special scenario and special scenario rules, it says that for the frontal SAMs, that's the ones that become the SA13s. So that's the ones that are showing SAM 1 off, and that's because they're infrared SAMs. I'm struggling with this a little bit, I have to say. And yet, I feel like I want to go back and look at scenario 2 to see how we first dealt with the two SAMs, and it was SA13 and SA11. I feel like if I glance back at that, I would understand. And I think what's throwing me is because of these markers shown like this, and it's been explained to me, it's because that we're in the solo game, and that's basically just to show some fog of war, as in one of these is going to be a dummy. So it's just to tell you kind of where they are, I think. Anyway, so for the SA13s, it says roll for activation when a player flight is within 2 hexes. So that actually means I'm not going to be able to do anything until I need to get within 2 hexes of this. Then we'll roll for activation, and then yeah. I mean, there's no locating. There's not me trying to locate that. And then the other ones, the ones at the back, which are the SA11s, that happens within 8 hexes. So, and once a player flight is within 8 hexes, we check for them to see if they're real or if they're one of the SAMs. And well, just jumping forward before I go to John's comments from part 2. Then let's see what Howard was saying about this. Right, yeah. So he says no need to locate the SA13s. Once they activate, they are instantly located. Basically, because they are firing at you from visual range, you can see where it's launched from. With radar SAMs, they are firing typically from a long ways off, so that's the SA11s at the back. So when a radar turns on in a cockpit, it spikes your RWR to let you know something is tracking you from a certain direction. But since you can't see it, the mechanic is that a radar warning marker is placed, which is what we've got. And hence, you're looking for the SAM visually to locate it, hence the SAM location phase. So he's mentioned SAM location phase there. Let me just finish it though. He says this is why there's a modifier for SAM launch markers for SAM location. You get a nice +5 modifier because you can spot roughly where the missile launched from. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're getting an extra modifier. But, so the thing is, do we do the SAM location for them? And then, do we have to activate them first when they're within 8 hexes, and then do we? See, that's just why I feel like I need to rewind a bit and look at scenario 2 again, because if I look back over how we done that, we had the SA13. The SA13 was the infrared one, wasn't it? Yeah, was there 2 of them and one of the SA11s, or was it the other way about? Can't remember. Anyway, it's just, I'm just getting a bit confused here, I think. I mean, I'm about to go into the SAM location phase here. Is there anything I can do right now? I mean, these haven't become active yet. They're not activated because I'm not within 8 of them and I'm not within 2 of them. Okay, we don't need to locate them. That rings bells because they're the infrared ones. Don't think we need to locate them, but we did need to locate the SA11s then in scenario 2. Now hold on, yeah, that's ringing a bell. And did we not have something like we put the marker underneath the warm marker, or was that for the infrared one? No, I think it was for the SA11. Well, I'll tell you what, if I look back on it, it'll tell me, because there was only one that had that. So scenario 2, is there only one SA11? There is. So it sets up unlocated, and the SA13 set up located. Yeah, of course. And does that not tie in with the fact that the state of the SAM, they cannot be unlocated, the infrared SAMs? Is that? They cannot be unlocated? Ooh. Right, give me a sec, I'll pause a sec. Right, so come back to look at SAM states again. This is on page 24, 15.11. SAM units may be in one of 3 states: located, unlocated, or hidden. Exception, infrared SAMs have only 2 states: located or hidden. Yes, right, okay, that's starting to make sense now to me. And I've done this before, yeah, I know, and it's just because of the kind of difference in this scenario. So these can't be unlocated anyway, and that's why he's saying I don't need to locate them. That's fine. I do need to locate these, but my problem right now still is when I'm going to do SAM location, when I'm in the SAM location phase, do these need to be activated? And if that's the case, then that means I need to get a flight within 8 to then roll for them to then find out what they are. So I'm not sure there. I'm not sure if I can do SAM location on these just now or not. Yeah. So I understand that. I understand the infrared ones, because they cannot be unlocated, but these will be unlocated. But I don't know what happens first. Do I need to locate them before they become activated, or do I need to get them activated before I can locate them? I'm not sure. I think that's where I'm kind of stuck. And then, yeah, because Howard does say that. He says that, yeah, so the radar warning marker is placed, and hence you're looking for the SAM visually to locate it, hence the SAM location phase. But can I do that now? Why is it telling me I need to be within 8 hexes to activate it? That's what's confusing me. I'm not sure. I mean, then the AAAs, you roll for activation of them when we're within 1 hex to see if they're dumb. I think the activation part is just to see if it's a dummy or not. So, but if I go and if I try and locate this, do I not then need to put the SAM marker out? And how can I do that if there's a chance it might be a dummy? Now, I'm saying all that, to be honest, we need to be well, I think I can get a range of, I want to say I can get a range of 12 hexes. Now, where was that about? Yeah, SAM location. So on player card 2, I knew where that was, by the way. That's starting to show something. Yeah, you can see radar on the flight has RWRD. Yeah, I was looking at these last night. I think this was before, well, I didn't get around to press and record again. I'm looking at my RWRs on my flights. Well, Raven's got the best one. He's got a D. And you can see a D as, oops, there we are. It gives a range of 12 and then a +4 modifier to try and locate. And Raven is, he's Condor. Is that one? No, it's the one behind. It's the one that is a jamming one. So I'm not even sure he's facing the right way. Oh yeah, I think I counted hexes out. I think he's within 12 of this. But then hang on, that's an infrared one. So that doesn't work. But even the RWRC, that's the F-16, and also the bombers, they've got an RWRC. That gives a base range of 8. 8, Grant. Is that not right? Is it is that the reason it's 8? So not only are we rolling for activation within 8 hexes, because that's the likelihood, as we're going to have to be within 8 hexes to actually locate. Unless we've got an RWRD, which is, like I say, the Raven flight, but he's... the Raven flight, but I mean, he's going to be down here. Well, to be honest, he might actually be able to... Maybe not. If he was down... If he got moved down to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, he actually can't. He can't even get to that. Okay, maybe... Is that linked in? Well, I'll tell you what, that'll let me just carry on with the game, and that's what was bothering me more, because I thought I'm going to have to stop here and find out if I can try and locate these before they're activated, or if I need to activate, or vice versa. But I think the fact that they need to be within 8 hexes kind of tells me that we can do it all in a winner. Okay, well we'll go with that. If I'm getting things wrong there, again, please try and explain it to me. I'm struggling with some of the comments that have come in recently. Struggling a little bit anyway. And what didn't help was right. I'll get to that in a minute. Right, let's just finish Howard's comment off before we. Right, I won't. He's talking about Fog of War there and Sam's. I won't go into that. You can go and read that for yourself. When he mentions ADC, we mean aircraft data card. Yeah, I got that, Howard. And it tells you the information on the card. What was the other thing he talked about? Yeah, I mean it does. Look. And it does have it on the card, doesn't it? It's got the 3, the 2, the 1, and then the ranges. They are standoff jam. That says standoff jam. That says spot 2 radars. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. He says sorry about the jamming flight. He says he's updated the manual on the flight logs to make it clear. You know how I was, because it did just say jamming flight here. And there's 2 types of jam and flight. Now, I think I spoke yesterday about the fact that Howard's comment that it went astray. We're not sure what happened to it. He even says himself he's no idea what's happened to it. But the bit that I was able to read, he did state that it was a standoff jam and flight, which means we can't get any closer than 5 hexes to the front. So I'm assuming that's what he's going to add to the thing to say that it's standoff jamming rather than escort jamming. Bomb points, I had to work that one out, are on the flight log bottom right next to attack profile. On the flight log bottom right next to attack profile. Of course they are. And did I not come across that and say BP 18 AC? No idea what that means. Well, bombing points 18 AC. Don't know. I was thinking per aircraft there, because there's 18 points per aircraft, but AC, could AC be? That doesn't seem like. Well, I'm not sure what the AC is. Well, he does say it's 18 per aircraft, so maybe that AC is aircraft, I don't know. He just says he could not fit that many bomb points as boxes, so you can understand that. You couldn't fit 18 boxes in each one of these bits, so that's fair enough. Now, I think I've spoke already that we do need to drop all these as a winner. I mean, we could drop so many and then go around and drop another and go in again for another bombing run and drop some more. But then you're going to you've got all these threats round about you. It's not something we're going to do. We're going to drop her, hopefully, 72 bomb points of strength. And that's assuming that all our aircraft get through all the troubles to there. Oh, have you added that, Howard? Right. I think he's maybe he's been updated. Maybe he's edited his. Yeah, he just edited it. Because after that, I was no idea where my comments going. I thought that was that. Right. Let me read what else he's added in. Okay, let's just run through what he's saying here together. Just to, I think I've got most of this, but it's quite a big thing he's wrote down here. Radar jamming 101. I'm not sure what the 101 is. However, right, if you look at the aircraft data card, and we're just looking at the card here, it has the jamming ranges and a number in yellow, right? And yeah, we worked that out. That's the ranges, that's the number. My guess is that's the strength at the range, and we're going to get to that. It says, when you're within that range and your jammer is on and pointing at any radar, the radars all get a yellow jamming counter with that number on it. So if it's long range, typically a 1, that 1 is a modifier to any SAM that attacks you. Got it. Okay. If you spot jam the same radar, you double the results, so the 1 would be a 2 modifier. Yeah, got it. I've got this. I have. It's that simple, really. The trick is understanding when your jammer turns on and off, which is normally when you change direction or altitude in the movement phase. At that point, you lose jamming instantly and remove the markers. So set up a nice straight run for the flight, he says, and move it last in the turn to keep it on if you know you need to turn. Yeah, because your other flights, yeah. So make sure it's last. Well, maybe there's something to what we've done here. Maybe there's something in the fact we're going to come right down there and then we'll turn down the bottom. Hopefully we can plan that turn carefully. Much more tricky to handle when you escort jamming, but that's normally reserved for a deep strike when you're heading deep behind enemy lines, and standoff jamming won't cut the mustard. Okay. Yeah, I think everything that he said there, I had the one thing I want to say, and I'm going to have to look at this again. When their radar is going out, if it joins up with your radar, you get a benefit to that. There's something like that. I'm going to look at that in a bit. It's like if you're in their arc, if your radar arc is in their arc, I think there's a benefit to that. I want to say there's something in that. I'll have a look at it again, because it was in one of the examples of play. Well, not example of play, but it's in the example. Okay, so thanks for that, Howard. Yeah, I don't know where your comment went as well, but I think you've filled in everything that we need to know there. Okay, so back to catch John's comments from part 2. Obviously, that their comments, Howard, that's from actually part 3, I think. So he's kind of up to date. Now I'm annoyed about the comments from part 2 that John. Well, no, I'm not annoyed about them. What happened was I was replying. I replied to his comments for part 1 today, and I was right through replying to part 2 ones, and there's quite a lot of comments, and I filled in quite a bit. And then I clicked the blooming, I don't know, I clicked a button that I closed the tab that I had opened that I was typing the reply to, and it all got wiped out, and I didn't have any more time to sit and well, to be honest, the thought of doing it all again was enough for me to note it, but I didn't have the time either. So anyway, right, quick one before I get these comments. The other thing I've took a note of was, I've got a 38 minute, 40 second max turn is 120, I believe, as I set my speed at 4. I can't remember what that was, but I was just watching back. It's not a biggie, but I've added it because somebody might have noticed it and said, that should be you should be able to turn at 120 there, rather than, I think I turned at 90, thinking I was at 5. It was one of the ones that was the 5 speed. It was one of the ones I dashed, but only needed 4 speed. Actually, no, that was the radar. It was the radar flight. Because I realised I needed to dash it to get, but I only needed the 4-speed. That's what it was. But it didn't matter, we only needed a 90-degree turn anyway. Okay, so let's get quickly to these comments in. Okay, I'll try and be quick with these, because they're all there for you to read and all time-stamped if you need to get a bit more information on them. General reminder not to forget about Swineford Airfield. I was thinking he meant that airfield. Also has an inherent light AA barrage zone that is a little obscured by the waypoint. Yeah, I mean, it's just the same as that, isn't it? I suppose that is right in the hex, so isn't it? Yeah. Okay, I thought he was actually meaning that one, but that one we don't need to do anything with. And my cunning plan about climbing at high altitude to get over the top of this and then drop back down, but like he said, that we'll get some grief when we actually move into bomb there as well, won't we? And we'll need to be down at low altitude. Okay. He says, given that you have to drop June dials from at least low, this will definitely come into play. Yeah. Another reminder, he says, is F111s are fairly fast. Lead and dash of 4 at deck, low, medium, and 5 at high. But, which, yeah, I noticed they were quite fast, and we don't really need them to be fast as such, really, you know. And however, he has linked me to a rule that I wasn't aware of, although I believe John might have mentioned this before, and it's 16.23, and it's regarding your limits to what you can. 16.23 is ordnance speed limits. Now, flights laden with bombs, anti-runway bombs, all these things, may not select a speed greater than 4, and then there's flight ladens with rockets and arms and EOGMs cannot select a speed greater than 5. I could see that one being something that you can miss, but I think, well, yeah. Well, we'd have to be, no, I don't think I'll get caught out with that, but I might. You could see it's something, but I think John mentions it further on again as well, so I will need to watch it. If it, I'll need to keep the number 4, the fact that speed 4, and I think just keep speed 4 in my mind, just in case I go to speed 5 and I say, oh wait now, what am I carrying? Let's have a look here and make sure that I can go at speed 5. So anyway, here we go. Keep going. He says, you're correct, there's a lot of units not represented on the map, and the inherent infrared SAM zone represents their air defence capable in a way that don't require a ton of counters. And that's what I was saying. There's lots of things. I think that's when I realised it was 5 hexes from the front markers, because that's where there's going to be lots of stuff, lots of defensive stuff that they're just don't want to clutter it up with lots of different counters and whatever. Right. This is another bit I'm struggling with. The SAM bit I've been struggling a little bit with, but the front is suddenly throwing me now. Not just with these markers that are saying 5 hexes in, I know that says a 7, but should say a 5. Not just with that. I think I get that now. However, it's like, it looks like the front comes round and goes up like that, and then why are they going like that? I feel like they should be then going like that when we turn up, but I don't know. But I don't know if I've got this right. So I don't think this helps me though, John. He says, remember the front is nominally aligned with the turns. It's nominally aligned with the turns represented by the markers. So it's not just 5 hexes from a front marker. It's 5 hexes from the line created by the front markers. Not just 5 hexes from a front marker, it's 5 hexes from a... Right, hang on, because he's got that at 8-minute mark, let me go and look at that bit. Okay, I get what I think he's saying, that I'm counting 5 hexes from the actual marker, but that's not what it's from. It's from this is a line. This is a front line, right? It's between that hex and that hex. So this hex could be one part of the line. There's 5 hexes from there. I get what you're saying there then, John. What I need to know is the front right round like that, and up like that? And if so, the fact this arrow's pointing that way, should it mean it's 5 hexes in the way from that? Because that's the line, in that way. Because I think it's confusing me. I mean, I would want to like turn that way, but maybe they're not. I don't know if that makes sense to what I'm trying to say. I understand these ones coming down because they're all pointing that way inside, but once we turn up like this, unless I'm not getting this right, that the front does go around like this and comes up like that. I'm getting a bit... Yeah. Well, I'll just leave that in there, I think. So then he says you combine the bomb strength of all aircraft bombing the same target. You can have sub-targets and all that. I'm not going to go into all that. And Howard's already talked about this. We've got 18 bombs per aircraft, 72 in total. He says, granted, that assumes all 4 aircraft make it over the target, still carrying their ordnance. And the Warsaw Pact flights, AAA and SAMs would like nothing more than to inflict a jettison check on those aardvarks. So I think, does he not say here? Yeah, he says if you want to do multiple attacks, you'd have to do multiple bomb runs, and then you'd have to go through any AAA fire again. So we're not going to do that. Okay. Back to detection attempts. He says there's no specific order to detection attempts. He tends to do it in standard EWR radar search visual. So it doesn't matter. I'm sure John said that before. It's just I think it sounded like you had said recently, John, that there was a specific order, but yeah, I've not found a bit where it would matter anyway, I don't think. He says, yeah, you have it right, jamming strength and ranges, okay. You can jam SAM warning markers, radar on. Okay, hang on till I read this. That's confusing me even more. He says you can jam SAM warning markers, radar on. Well, so these are 3 possible options then. But what could this, when they go to... Yeah, I don't know. That's baffling me even more now. These are the SE11s, aren't they? Yeah. They're sitting there. Well, one of them's a dummy. We're gonna have to find that out. I don't know if they're located or not. I don't think they're located. Yeah, I'm getting a bit bogged down now. Okay. I think I bet it would be good to go back and look at scenario 2, but the fact that it was quite a bit different than this, because for scenario 2, for the SE11, we put the counter underneath, like John suggested I do, and I did that. However, hold on. We're not going to do that because one of them's a dummy. We need to find out which one's a dummy. But while these are SAM warn markers with the radar on, what can they actually do? Can they attempt to fire at me? They need to be within range 10. No, they need to be within range 14 to acquire, but do they not have to be no, they don't. Surely don't need to be located. Maybe these can acquire. Would we not need to know if it was a dummy or not, though? Maybe not. Yeah, maybe SAMs can acquire and still be dummy SAMs. Yeah, okay. So dummy radars, page 25, 15.15, dummy radars. Scenarios now, this is the full game rules here. So things are slightly different. Well, yeah, so here we are. Full solitaire rules. One of the things that aren't used is dummy radars. Is dark blue defection overriding that? And well, it must be, because we definitely have a dummy here. So they're just kind of going about it in a different way, because it does say, well, let me carry on reading dummy radars here, because I think this is what they must have been able to do it, bring it in a sort of way. Right, well, you can tell me if I've got that wrong. So dummy radars, scenarios may supply either side with dummy radar units. Again, this is me back reading the full two-player rules. Dummy radars use regular SAM unit counters and SAM warning markers and must be set up hidden. Well, we can't do that, but this is the way of them doing it. So these are kind of, although they're not hidden, we can see them, but one of them is a dummy. And then it carries on. Dummy radars behave as regular SAM units in all respects, except they have no ammo and cannot fire SAMs. And then, however, it carries on. Dummy radars can acquire targets with a radar, switch the radar on and off, and be forced to shut down by arm attacks. Okay. They can be attacked, damaged, and destroyed like regular SAM units. Dummy radars never count for victory points. Okay. Is that what we're trying to do here? Is that what they're trying to achieve? So, yeah, so we can jam that, because they will try and acquire us, and their range to acquire is 14 hexes. So all that's going to happen before we get within the 8 hex range to find out if they're a dummy or not. But that rule just covers it. They can acquire. Dummies radars can acquire. So, okay. He says, make sure you pay close attention to all the parts on 19.31, 19.32 and 19.34. This is about the jamming. 3.1, 3.2 and 3.4. Yeah, I have read all that, but we'll come back to that in a second, because the example, it's illustration, yeah, it's that illustration there that tells me something a bit weird, and, well, I need to come back to that. Well, actually, no, John talks about it here. The hardest part might be that the standoff/spot jamming is at half strength if the nominal firing direction arc would not include the jamming flight. But hopefully the example will make this clear. Yeah, that's the example I'm looking at. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Because I looked at that before and I thought, oh, right, that's different. So I'm going to have to look at that again. And, yeah, because it gives half strength. Basically, what it kind of means is, if this was trying to, say this here, this warm marker here, say it was trying to acquire a flight that was down here, for instance, then it comes as I think it's a 60 degree as well, and that's its acquire. So that's its cone there. Now, if our jamming flight is coming up here and our cone goes like that, I think if the cones don't match up, that's what it shows in the example. Maybe that's a bad way of showing it. Yeah, well, I really need to show you the example in the book, don't I? Well, we look at this. Yeah, let's look at it. Okay, this is pretty heavy stuff. This does start to, yeah, it's quite intense, this, I think. Right, just going back over the page there, because there's just a few words before we get... This is 19.31, it starts on page 37, standoff jamming strength. I know you're not looking at that on camera, but I'm just going to read this bit. Each standoff jamming marker has a standoff jamming strength. Standoff jamming strength affects EWR detection attempts, radar-equipped AA attacks, SAM acquisition attempts, and SAM attacks made by units in the jammer arc. It does not affect attacks or detection attempt by units outside this arc. Okay. Standoff jamming strengths vary with range as listed on the ADC. Yeah, okay. To determine standoff jamming strength, count the range from the jamming marker to the EWR radar equipped AA or SAM unit. Yeah. Multiply the strength by the number of undamaged aircraft in the jamming flight. But we're only going to have one flight, so it's not going to be any multiples there. And then it carries on. At the moment of an EWR detection attempt, radar equipped AAA attack, SAM acquisition attempt, or SAM attack, the attacking player should define a 60-degree arc on the map projected by the firing, acquiring, detecting unit. The target's hex must be in this 60-degree arc. The projected arc must totally encompass the target's hex. The target cannot be in a hex partially covered by the arc. However, if the target flight is in the same hex as the EWR radar equipped AA or SAM unit, the attacking player may orient this arc in any direction. Okay, fair enough. Now, what that's meaning is then there's a diagram down here. So what it's saying is, when at the moment what this is doing, it's attempting to acquire this flight. It'll tell you down there. So this is attempting to acquire this flight. So at the moment it does that, it's got to give a 60-degree arc that encompasses all that. So it's got to make sure that it's within that 60-degree arc. Okay, so that's its arc. So now, when we go back just to finish that off, it says if standoff jamming markers are also in the projected arc, including half hexes, their jamming affects the radar at full strength. Otherwise, they affect it at half strength. So here's our flight jamming, right? And it's jamming that way. So hang on. Yeah, I mean, it's 60 degrees isn't shown. It would go out like that, okay? But if standoff jamming markers are also in the projected arc, right? So although we've got this in our 60 degree, because it's pointing that way, although we've got that, this thing is acquiring that way. It's acquiring that way. So this doesn't get the full strength. It gets half the strength. So if this was jamming at, well, it'd be 3, I don't know if it rounds. If it rounds down, it says round fractions to the nearest whole value, I think. So if we had 3, 1.5, I think it would to the nearest whole value. 0.5 results round up. Okay, so it would round up to 2 then. So it would be half to 2. Now, so it tells you there an example. It says SAM L attempts to acquire flight A. The standoff jammer is not in the radar's arc, so we're not in its arc because its arc's along there. Although we do have our jamming going out that way. So affects it at half strength. Now it says there, and this is what this other shaded bit is, if the SAM tries to acquire flight B, which is this one, it says the standoff jammers is in the arc and so contributes it at full strength. So, you know, it's not simply a case of if we have it in our 60-degree arc and it tries to jam anything, it tries to acquire anything, then it needs to be acquiring something that also goes into the jamming flights. You know, it needs to cover it. So that's what that is. That's pretty tough, eh? Oof. Yeah. Yeah, so going back to that, the fact that we are going to put a 60-degree thing out like that, I mean, admittedly, most of our stuff's coming this way, so you think most of the activity is going to be aimed this way, so it's probably going to link up, but I don't know, maybe not. It might not. You know, this SAM could go 60 degrees that way, and it's not in our flight of the jammer, so anyway, yeah, there is quite a lot coming in now. Okay, let's move on. Well, I'm up 40 minutes. Oh, man. Okay. He carries on, John carries on. EF111A is somewhat unique in that it could serve as either a standoff jammer or an escort jammer. Given the positioning, I think Howard is intended as Raven as an escort jammer, but you could certainly keep it back up, back as a standoff jammer. Ah, right, okay, he edited in there. He says, update, per your part 3 discussion, sounds like this is standoff jammer. Yeah, going by what Howard said, it's a standoff one, so it means we can't go right across the front. Yeah, that was it all. You know, on one of the cards, one of the play rate cards, I'm going to guess it might have been this one. It just says standoff jamming strength. And I said, why does it not say standoff / spot jamming sound? John says, I've always taken it to mean standoff spot jamming. They probably just didn't have the room to put it in there. Fair enough. Talking about EWR, it says, yeah, all undetected flights in range of at least one EWR with an active radar are subject to an EWR detection attempt. Then a couple more. This is a toughie. This is about the airfield, I think, being closed. It says, this is a toughie since many scenarios note whether the inherent AA of a closed airfield is or not still in effect. I think I probably went with them still being in effect. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. They're still doing their thing. Yeah, did I cheat here then? I think I did. That's the last one. The F-16s are laden, so we'd only have a speed of 4. Also remember ordnance speed limits for them as well, though both the LGM and ARMS are limited to speed 5, which a laden F-16 cannot exceed. So I think I made a blunder there then, didn't I? I dashed my F-16s. Did I dash them both? I think I did. I think I'd maybe have to go back and look at that. Yeah, because they've got bombs. I've looked at this side and I think were they at low altitude to start when I dashed them at 5? I think so. And it should have been 4, he's saying. Can I just chuck them back a movement point? I think I probably can. So let's just go back 1. And back 1 to there to fix that. And it's him that zoom climbed. Right, okay. Right, thanks for your comments, John. And if I don't get around to replying to all them, honestly, I wrote everything out and I made a mess of things, so I'm kind of frustrated about it. So I might just let the comments go by, and well, I've discussed them here anyway. We'll see if I get the chance and I've got a moment where I'm not doing anything else. I'll maybe jot some stuff down. Okay, good stuff. Okay, one last thing. Just another quick comment there from Howard just come in when I was talking about is it 1 hex? Can you move 1 hex from the flight path or 2? Well, we're allowed to move 2 from this, but it says that the bots can only stray 1 hex, and he said, yeah, that was intentional. He wanted to keep it tight that way. He thought that maybe it could be exploited, to benefit some way or the other. And like you said, some people want to sort of spoil that solo experience. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It's what are you spoiling? You're spoiling for yourself, really, aren't you? I think. But anyway, right. I think I'm going to have to take a pause. So I'll just charge this. Hopefully I can get back for a little bit. It's like 45 minutes and nothing being done again. But I have been struggling with a few things here, and I'm not saying I'm out of that struggle yet either. I'm going to move on as I see it, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully I can get back and just get another turn. Well, it's not another turn, is it? We've moved everybody. We can get the turn finished. I know that's not great viewing though, is it? But I need to be able to get through these and understand. I mean, I suppose you could say, well, can't you do that off camera, Grant? And And you know, I'm going through all the comments that I'm getting from John and Howard and the likes, and I don't know if that's good viewing. I could probably do it off camera, but then I'd need to explain to you what I was doing, why I was realising something. I would need to say, well, John's explained this to me and Howard's explained that, and so I think it's the best way of doing it, and it's the best way for things to sink into my head. But yeah, I do wonder if it's great viewing at times. Again, yeah, like I've always said, the main purpose of this is for my own enjoyment. So as long as I'm enjoying it, that's fine. Yeah, hopefully we'll get moving a bit better. Right, I'm going on pause for a bit, and I'll hopefully get this turn at least finished later. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, just been on pause there. Just jump back on. I'm not sure I have an awful lot of time though, so. But I don't think there's going to be an awful lot to do to finish off this turn, so maybe I can do that at least. So I'm going to take the blue markers off all the flights. Right, there we go. And so that's the movement phase over. So we've got the fuel phase here. There's quite a lot of flights, none of the Warsaw Pact flights, but so I need to mark off fuel on this. Once I start marking on this card, I don't want to lay things on top of it because it kind of smudges it. Well, it's just that was a sort of area where I was able to like lay some charts or rules or whatever. Okay, well we'll try and make do. So we've got Saint. There's Cobra as well, yeah, so I'm just going from top to bottom on the chart here on the flight log sheet. So Cobra, Saint, in fact, did they all not? Silver Fox. Yeah, I've got 5 dash markers there, Grant. So we all used dash. Yes, indeed. Okay. So I'll take the dash markers away now. Okay, that's that done. So now it's SAM location phase, and like we've said, in the SAM location, both players may try to locate unlocated SAMs marked with SAM warning markers. So yeah, well, Howard's already said we don't need to locate these. We do need to locate these. See, is it the fact these are showing off then that we can't sort of try and locate them, or am I making too much of this? Once we're within a range of 2 of these, we're going to roll a dice and see if it's a real SAM, if it's an SA13, or if it's a dummy, and there's 3 of them. So that's that. These we can locate, I think. Please tell me if I'm getting any of this wrong. But well, most of my flights, I'm going to have to get within a range of 8 to locate. And then I'd get a +4 in my die roll, and I need to roll a 10 or greater. So I'd need to roll a 6, basically. And that's the flights that have got the C RWR rating. We do have one with a D, but like I say, it's a jammer. It's down here. I don't think it's going to stretch. And yeah. Okay, so I don't think there's anything we can try and locate just now. Yeah, because we're not within range. I mean, our flights there. I mean, it's the F-16s have got a C. The F-15s only got a B, but F-16s. Here and here, they've got a C, so they do have a range of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, like we've said, we can't do these, but this one's close. To be honest, this one's close. I think his next movement, that's probably going to be in range. I can only assume that we just don't do anything with the ones that are off. And then the 2 that are a wee bit deeper into the map, it's going to maybe take a bit. Now, don't think we need to be... What play red card is that? Yeah, it's play red card 2, isn't it? So we've looked at that a couple of times. Sam location. So it's line of sight is required. So, but we don't have to have it in our front arc or anything like that. I can see. Roll for each unlocated SAM within the line of sight and SAM detection range, based on the RWR rating. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter what we were facing as long as we've got line of sight. So yeah, once he moves again, we're probably going to be able to have a shot at that. And remember, there's two things that will happen as soon as we're within 8 hexes. Well, I think that's going to trigger first. DBD rules say that roll for activation when a player flight is within 8 hexes. Do not apply any modifiers. Because, yeah, this was the bit that Mike had pointed me to on the solo rules. On the player red card 5, it kind of, but it's different. I think DBD is kind of overriding that. That's the stuff in here, and there's some differences to this. So I don't think we use this. Whether this bit's go, this is what he was talking about, the sectors and that. But I guess it's just where they are on the map and whatever. Anyway, okay, so nothing to locate just now. So let's go into the track phase. And all detecting neophytes at deck. Right, I don't think anything at all is at deck on the map. It is not. No, so nothing at deck. So we're just going to roll on the track table. So I'll roll for the Warsaw pack first. This is 2 dice, isn't it? Yeah. And they're on the C detection level. So I'm going to roll 2 dice on the C. Rolled a 5, quite low, so we might get something out of this. Ooh, diamond. So, right, so it's a diamond. So any diamonds are going to go undetected. That was for us. So we've got Saint here. And it goes undetected. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was only 1. Yeah, spade would have worked better for us there, but however. Right, and then for the Warsaw Pact, we roll on the D column. Roll the 15. No, it's nothing. So they're getting nothing out of that. Well, at least we got something. They got nothing. Right. Right, SAM acquisition. So yeah, let me just look at that again. Right, well, I was just about to say that, right, I don't think we can do this until the actual SAM unit. It needs to be the SAM unit that can acquire, but I just got done with reading about dummy radars and the fact that dummy radars can acquire targets. So I kind of thought I was going to attempt... you know what, we're probably going to be out of range here and I can just leave this again. It's no wonder I get that many comments right enough, because I'm leaving that many questions in here, I'm not just not sure about things. If I went back and watched or looked over some of scenario 2 stuff, I mean the SA11s have got a 14. But I mean, can we count 14 hexes from there and try and acquire? I mean, because if we could, that's within 14 hexes. But does it not have to be the SAM itself? But then, how can it be how can dummy radars? How can it say dummy radars can acquire targets with a radar? But then the solo rules say dummy radars aren't involved in the solo rules, but we know they kind of are in this, because we know there's one dummy there and there's one dummy there. Struggling a bit here. Right, I'm going to have to look back on part 2 to find out that when I made my first attempt to acquire, was it when we had the Sam Warren marker still, or was it when we actually had the actual Sam showing? Yeah, I mean, it's surely got to have the Sam marker, because we don't necessarily know what this is. I mean, although we know what it is because we're playing the soul and we've had to lay out everything, we need to locate this. This is kind of unlocated. Oh man, I'm having a hard time here. I really am. Show an unlocated SAM unit by placing a SAM warning marker on the map when the SAM radar is turned on. So that's telling me that these are unlocated. We've got to locate them in the SAM location phase. That whole 8 hexes away is to do the activating them to find out if they're real or not. So I don't think we can acquire. So that kind of rules out the fact that I thought that the dummy could acquire us. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna say that these need to be located before then they can acquire, because I'm reading nothing in SAM acquisition that says a SAM warning marker can do a SAM acquisition. You know, it has to be the SAM. In the SAM acquisition phase, a SAM may make one attempt to acquire one enemy flight or maintain and improve a SAM mark with a SAM launch marker. There's no talk there about if it's a SAM warning marker that it can do this. And like I say, I'm pretty sure if I look back on scenario 2, I would probably find how I dealt with that. Right, I've been on pause for some time there, and just before I went away, I was looking at scenario 2, my recording back, and I was looking at the SAM acquisition rules. And I actually come back down, sitting down here with the intention of actually carrying out some SAM acquisition. And the fact that this is within range of this, what did I want to say, it's 14 hexes. Because when I done it in the scenario 2, it was just as shown as a SAM warn marker with its radar on, and we had the SA11 underneath it. So I figured we must be able to do that, and then I thought, well, remember one of these could be a dummy, and then I thought, right, okay, that's true. But then I thought, well, the rules talk about dummy radars there, so we could still acquire it. Dummy radars can acquire targets. So then I thought of that, and I thought, right, okay, we're going to come back and we're going to attempt acquisition with this. However, then I realised that the acquisition marker that I placed in scenario 2 has the same letter as the actual SAM unit. So, which kind of means that it has to be, and what I mean by that is, let's just see, can we see in here? These are the first two that are, and it does, it feels like these have to be activated first. I mean, there's the SAM, that would go under the SAM warn marker, and that's its acquisition because they're both the letter F. I'm just getting myself all messed up here. So, and getting more comments coming in about other things. It's really, yeah, starting to get to me a bit. Maybe I need to step back from this and possibly take a bit of a break. I thought I had everything sussed out as well. After that last scenario, I come into this and I thought, okay, there's a lot going on, but I know everything now, but well, it doesn't look like I do. And there's so many other things coming up. John's posted another few comments about watching for this, keep your eye on that, and I was just thinking, wow, I mean, we know there's a lot in this game. I've been here before with it as well, saying it's all pretty hard to take it all in, and then you get into a process of doing all the sort of normal things, and you know, I can move things, and and carry it there to air and the BVR combat and the ground attack. I was getting it. Okay, I need to look at the rules and whatever, but there's lots of other little bits that are going to catch you out, I think. So I'm back where I was before. I don't think we can make an acquisition attempt with that. I mean, on that scenario setup card, all these SAMs and acquisition markers and the 2K22s, they're under a column called activated. And it's as if these need to be activated first, which means that we need to be within 1 hex of the flax. We need to be within 2 hexes of the SAMs that are switched off, basically the infrared SAMs, and we need to be within 8 hexes of the SAMs that are switched on. And then I'm kind of going to I'm probably just going to cut this part now and just leave that there. I know I've not done an awful lot at all. But I think I need to get it out here and make sure that what I've just said is right, that we can't achieve SAM acquisition until these have been activated, which means we need to get a friendly fight within 8 hexes of them. And once we're within 8 hexes, we can roll to activate them, find out if they're a dummy or not. We can also then try and locate, assuming we've got the RWR of C or better, because we need a range of 8. And same for these, we need to be within 1 hex of these. I wasn't too concerned about these. I thought Saint was going to fly up here and find out what these are, activate them. And then the ones with infrared, well, it looks like I've got to get much closer. I've got to get within 2 hexes of them. I think these are possibly the ones we need to be prepared to maybe try and do something about. After realising that I feel like I could maybe fly over the top of all this and drop down into here, some of the more important things to maybe try and take out with my, not the bombers, the F-16s, are maybe not care about this at all, or this. We need to concern ourselves with certain SAMs, but I mean, there's 4 of them. There's 4 SAMs. I mean, we've got potentially 8 shots if you count both flights of F-16s. Well, 4 harm shots and 4 EOGM shots. So, I mean, the harms are really there to be able to, go after the SAMs and not have to worry about them shutting down, and hopefully still doing something to them. But even shutting them down and still firing, if you've got them shut down, that's a good thing. Well, they could turn back on again, fair enough. Other things, do we want to do something? I've noticed a comment. I'm not going to start talking about John's latest comments. I think they actually came in the same time as that one, the latest one, the Howards. But I mean, should I try and do something about Schweinfurt? And I think I can attack this and suppress it. Again, I'd need to look a bit more carefully into that, because we're going to have to drop to low altitude to bomb there, so we're going to get fired upon in this hex on the way in. We're going to get negative modifiers. We're going to get fired upon in the hex, and then when we turn to come out, so it's important. Maybe we should try and do something about that. Possibly this flak on the way out, because can we then move from there to our next waypoint up there, 5, which is straight up there. Okay, we could deviate and come around, I suppose. Yeah, we could. Maybe we could. Well, it means we can't go into that hex either, so we need to sort of turn around and come up that way. Yeah, there's a bit more to think about. But going back to that, I suppose I still need to get this for sure. Like what I've just said, I've said it all, haven't I? Do these need to be activated first before anything else can happen? If that's the case, we need to get within 2 of that, we need to get within 8 of that, we need to get within 1 of them. and then we can start maybe jamming some of the stuff that's coming out of them. Excuse me. So yeah, I can still finish the turn the way I see it, because I don't think there's going to be any Sam acquisition then. And I suppose if I finish this here just now, I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Probably in late tomorrow from work anyways, so probably not going to get as much of a chance. Got some other things I'd like to do. I want to set something up on the other table as well, so maybe just take a step back from this. So get this watch back, this part. Again, I should probably put a note in the header, because I don't think we've done very much at all. Okay, we're going to end the turn, but there's no a rolled on the track phase. I think that's all I've done. Right, well, we're going to, and then get that out to you, and then maybe get these questions answered, and look over all the comments that have come in, and just feel like I'm getting flooded with everything. Not that I don't want it, and I need it. I need that, but it's starting to get on top of me a bit, and you know, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm pretty sure it's easy enough to get through this. It is. I'm going to come through at the end and say, right, okay, I've got it. You know, the front situation as well. I assume the front comes around. John's just another one of his comments was talking about Wurzburg, you know, under threat here, because that's where the front sort of ends there, and they're threatening here. But yeah, I guess it just comes around and goes up, and it's all in that area there. That's all I can. Yeah, okay. Right, so we'll say we can't acquire. So skip Sam acquisition. Admin phase then. It's all about removing markers. There's a zoom coin marker there. That should come off, shouldn't it? I've got my wrong glasses on. Zoom coin markers, yeah, so that can come off the F15. I think that might just be it. There's a max turn marker there, but that stays on. Yeah, that's all we've got. Yeah, I think so. Don't think there's anything else. So I'm going to move the dice on to turn 2 now. And yeah, this part feels like it's been a bit of a mishmash, a whole lot of nothing. But yeah, okay. And then I think I'll just leave this for a little while. And it's not that I'm not enjoying it, but I need to be able to understand this a bit better. It's getting on top of me. I do think that the next turn, when we get these flights moved a little further, there's a lot more going to happen. This is going to start jamming. Saint is probably going to be within range to be able to activate maybe one or two of these SAMs. Silver Fox, possibly he might get within range of that. It's 8 hexes, and that's maybe a bit too far. Yeah, he's not going to get to there, but and then Cobra's going to move in a bit, and I think there's also a chance that the Warsaw Pact flights may see something within the range of 7, and then they'll start doing their thing as well. Okay, so I'll leave that for now. Like I say, I know it was a bit of a messy part, this, but hopefully we can get things all worked out, and I'm going to go through things a bit more carefully, and yeah, like I say, it's working out. It's really getting some answers to this, because yeah, okay, I'm not going to go through it all again. I'm going back over myself again, and right, okay, I'll leave this like that, and I'll be back with the next part. Probably leave it a little bit, like I say, and see what feedback I get from this part first. Okay, right, cheers.